build your team, and the business will follow.
When you talk about imposter syndrome in the book, is you talk about it as a strength. And I don't think anybody really views it that way. And I never did either.
I think imposter syndrome, people look at it like it's a weakness. I actually think if you switch it around, it can actually be a positive and an absolute strength in your personality.
If I'm not practicing what I preach, how the hell am I going to have any credibility if I'm trying to help somebody else?
Greatness in a person is not pursuing it.
You know, some people you meet once and feel like you've known them forever. Well, my next guest has that effect on you. Jonathan Eldridge is definitely one of those. He and I talked for maybe 30 minutes one day before this podcast, and I already felt like I trusted him and was like opening up to him about, you know, my life's struggles. And you'll see more of that in this episode. But, you know, once you hear how he built his career is the entire point. You will see he spent 20 years in staffing, rose to the top of it without ever pretending to be tougher or smarter than he was. And he'd even tell a client his whole life story before even asking for business. And it worked wonders for him. He calls imposter syndrome a superpower. Never saw it that way before, but it's pretty interesting, his philosophy behind it. And after living by the motto, win the day for most of his career, after he went through a significant personal tragedy, he traded that for live the day. Not win the day, live the day. Wait till you hear that transformation. He also wrote a bestseller called Struggle to Strength and built a framework called C.A.R.E. And he means every word of it. It's such a pleasure to introduce Jonathan Eldridge, and I can't wait for you to see our conversation. Let's get into it. I grew up in being like raised in this industry by men.
Primarily dominated by men.
Yeah. So not much, and really good, strong men who had no problem treating me like a man, which I've always appreciated because they pushed me out of my comfort zone. They gave me mental toughness, or at least pulled out my mental toughness that I didn't know that I had. So when you say like, are you ready? Like, yeah, I'm always ready, I think.
Yeah. I didn't know. I had a lot of females that I hired, and they're now still very prominent leaders in the organization I semi-retired from. And I didn't treat them any different. Like, I didn't even think about that aspect of it because they're as badass as I was, or they're as badass as any other guy. And I just treated them the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, I don't think it's a conscious thing for when you don't treat someone. I think there's intimidation sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to make her cry, but honestly, and I've been really ostracized on this. Like, we do it to ourselves. We put ourselves in those positions, unfortunately. And, you know, I've seen it, and I've managed people that, and mostly women, unfortunately, like, and I try to help to say, all right, there really is no like crying in the work world. God forbid you say that anytime now. Like after COVID, I feel like we got so much more emotional, which is why I thank you for the book. John.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad you got it.
This is awesome. Yeah, I got some notes in here.
Awesome.
But I found it so interesting that you you're almost pulling, I mean, the book is called Struggle to Strength, and you're almost pulling this. You know, you talk about compassion, and you talk about this C.A.R.E. Framework that we'll get into. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But you're still a badass, right? Like you're still this tough. You know, have this mental toughness about you, but it's coming from a place where you talk about compassion, and you know, you talk about adapting. And I just find it sometimes those are very conflicting traits. You know, like,
well, listen, I look at it like this. I have a bit of imposter syndrome. When I walk into a room, I always, and I think it's the way I grew up. We didn't grow up with a lot of money. We didn't grow up with a lot of, you know, I went to a Catholic school, and I was the poorest kid at the Catholic school. But I realized, like, when I don't, if anybody walks around thinking that they're a badass, then they're going to screw something up. And that's why I have approachability as one of my attributes. And I put mindset underneath it, because I've actually heard of leaders that's like, why didn't you stand when I walked into the room? Like, man, who are you?
Who said that? Who's that jerk?
Oh God. We'll leave names out, but I just realized, like, if I'm going to be able to have great relationships, I have to be approachable.
Yeah.
That means you don't carry an ego. You don't carry your title. You just do you. And half the time I was screwing up anyway. So I might be a badass, but I was a badass that screwed up a lot.
Right. Well, it's, I liked your approach. And this is what I took out of when you talk about imposter syndrome in the book, is you talk about it as a strength. And I don't think anybody really views it that way. And I never did either. We've always been taught to get rid of that side, but you almost have it as I think humility is a strength for a leader, and what we are really striving for. And that's what I took out of it, is like this imposter syndrome is where you're humble and you have this, humility trait about you. And I thought that was really interesting. I did like that aspect. I've never looked at it that way before. I always thought, like, gotta get rid of this imposter syndrome. You gotta walk into the room like you're, tough. I do think, not to get into the men thing, I do think women need a little bit of that, but if you're confident versus having this ego struggle, and it helps balance it out, I think.
It is. I think it's a superpower. Ooh, and I think it's very rare to hear people say that. But look at it like this. I think every day is an interview. And I think if you walk into an interview with a little bit of imposter syndrome, then you're going to use an approach that's like, man, I want to earn respect. I want to earn a relationship. I'm not better than you. I want to learn from you.
Yeah.
So I've always looked at it like, I think acting less than, not necessarily acting less than, but just having I tie my shoes like everybody else approach.
Right.
The right way to go about it. I don't know how to walk into a room with a lot of ego. I'm a nutcase sometimes, man. I want people to laugh. I want people to like, oh wow, dude's approachable. He's totally relatable. He might have a great resume, but he doesn't show it. Oftentimes, Tiffany, I talk to people, and if I don't bring up that I was a best-selling author, they'd never know. I don't talk about it.
Yeah.
To your point, I think imposter syndrome, people look at it like it's a weakness. I actually think if you switch it around, it can actually be a positive and an absolute strength in your personality.
Yeah. And it definitely gave me a new viewpoint on it, to like accept it a little bit more. And, like you said, just, I think it goes back to what you said about approachability and how do you walk into a room, right? There was the part you talked about is like, look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah. The mirror test, man. How often you smile?
Yeah. We used to do that. I have a bad resting bitch face, and I have overcome it over the years, but it was because someone had to tell me about it, right? And I had old manager that gave us mirrors when I was recruiting, and made us make calls.
Yeah. I just did a post. I put it on Instagram. And I said, if you're not approachable, you're not coachable. If you're not coachable,
like that one too.
Learn it.
Oh my gosh! Ever try to coach somebody that's not approachable, but you still have to?
Talk to my 14-year-old son. I mean, when he gets the resting dick face, it's like, dude, go away. I can't even. So I pulled the damn card out with my kids. I'm like, listen, you're totally not approachable. I can't coach you.
How does that go over?
Approachable and coachable.
Yeah, I love it. It's so true. So true.
Yep.
So, Jonathan, well, thank you so much for hanging with me. I looked back at my notes and I was like, we only met one time?
Yeah.
Like, you and I only met for like 30 minutes. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
Like, we know each other longer than this.
We have that ability with people, right?
Yeah. And I think, and I loved, I don't even know how we got connected. I think it was just like random LinkedIn.
I like one of your comments on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Oh, it came into fruition.
Yes. And so I was excited for today, and I'm so glad that you're here. We have a lot to talk about, I feel like.
Yeah, man, I'm ready to
So,
man.
but we are fellow staffing pros,
Aficionados.
aficionados. Tell us, you didn't get into it because you dreamt of a day that you would be talking about how you're an expert in staffing. So how'd you land that gig? And, walk us through your story.
So I was a communication graduate from Central Michigan University, and I wanted to work, and this sounds so cliche, but I wanted to help build a business. I wanted to impact people. And I knew that my personality was my strongest strength. And I learned that from going through a public speaking class. And on the second day, the professor's like, dude, you could actually help me. Would you be like my student coach for other people? Because I didn't care what people thought. Like, I get up in front of people and I just be me. And so in staffing, you know this, like if you can't adapt, like a client's going to change a timeline, change a bill rate, consultant's not going to show up.
Totally.
All the shit that happens in staffing. Yeah. If you can't adapt to that, then you're not in the you're in the wrong industry. Definitely. So I kind of realized I got into it when my former boss and the CEO of the 811 group, we worked at a very large consultant, one of the largest technical staffing companies in the world at that point. And they preached family and they preached being together, being teamwork. But just to be completely honest, when I lost my brother 3 months into my career, they were going to give me 2 days of bereavement. And Ryan Hasbrook, who is the CEO and the founder of the 811 group, he was my AE, the account executive at the time at this company. And he said, Jonathan, listen, dude, I will make sure you're paid for every single day that you're not even here. I will hand deliver your paycheck. I will call corporate in Maryland and I will make sure you get paid. And really at that moment, I'm like, man, this profession isn't about putting people to work. This profession is about you actually growing as a human, connecting with all kinds of different people. Yeah. And then realizing you're doing it because you're putting food on a table, or realizing you're doing it because you're changing someone's life. Like I feel that was my purpose. Yeah. So just a quick story. When I started Detroit in 2002, I had that large company call me on day 3. And they're like, dude, you can't go after Domino's Pizza. That's one of our accounts. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're a $3 billion company. I'm in a 400 square foot office with one recruiter and you're calling me because you're scared. Thank you for that motivation.
Yeah. You're doing something right.
March 13th, 2003, I think it was a Thursday, and I was able to actually hand deliver my first paycheck.
Oh,
and I went and
remember those days?
AS400 operator, still remember it. And when I walked out in the 8, I sat down and I got misty-eyed. I thought about my brother, and I thought, wait, everybody said I couldn't do this. Yeah. And I handed my first paycheck off.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it started there, and I grew. Ryan left and started his own company, and that's where the Basement to $1 billion came in. Yeah. And I opened up Detroit for him and got Detroit going, and it took off. And then he's like, hey, dude, I need you and your wife to move to Pennsylvania because we need to continue to expand the company. And I told him no twice, and then he drove up to my house, and he knocked on the door, and he said, look, dude, I'm not asking you. I need you. Oof. And I was like, whoa, that's a different word. Yeah. And it was the hardest decision I ever made. But I had to completely, and staffing is hard. You've been in it your whole career. Mm-hmm. To start over and do it again and actually have it be a success is like a 0 in 100 chance. 1 in 100 chance. Excuse me. Yeah. And I was able to do it. And I freaking had a blast in Philadelphia. Yeah. A different approach in Detroit, totally different leadership style. And I embraced all of these college graduates. I taught them and I treated them like they were a leader. And we led together. We broke accounts together. We took on all the struggles together. Like it was a total team win or a total team loss. So my management style completely changed. And then I moved back to HQ, took on the experience role, became the CXO for the entire organization. That was about, 700-800 employees. thousands of consultants and hundreds of clients. And I'm really proud. Like I developed an NPS score. It was the highest in the industry.
Yeah.
And now here I sit with my own company, with the book that I wrote and my framework that I've gotten trademarked and copywritten, and away I go.
That is a phenomenal story. And I know it's not the end, but you've got so far, a pretty nice landing with your new company.
There's a lot of struggle. That's why the book's titled Struggle to Strength, because so stick with me on this.
Sure.
Usually people grow personally and then professionally they take off. And that's actually been my tagline forever. But in my life, because I was able to get through all the crap of building 2 companies from the ground up, going home and emotionally curling up to a ball and crying. Like, why is it? It was hard.
I get it.
All the other stuff I had to go through, 4 knee replacements, losing 70 pounds, losing other main people in my family, my mom, my dad, being at the end of life for all of them. If I hadn't gone through the professional, I wouldn't have been able to get through the personal. And usually it's flipped the other way. Usually it's the other way. But for me, it was the job that helped me get through the rest of it.
So with all of that struggle, a lot of people do find it difficult to focus and stick with their professional development.
Yeah.
How did you get through some of those major life events and still understand that you had to show up to work consistently and do a good job and be there for your team, what all comes with it?
811, I will say 811 Group is a phenomenal company. There's their pitch for the podcast. They are great. It's all about family. It's one of their core values. Mm-hmm. And I just knew I could lean on them. And I also knew that vulnerability was a strength. So when I moved to Pennsylvania, I would share my entire life story with clients before I ever asked for a requirement, because they needed to know me.
Yeah.
If they knew me, they trust me. And if they trust me, then maybe they give me a requirement. And that's exactly how it worked.
Yeah.
So I actually took my pain and I started sharing it with other people. And you know what I found? Other people had lost siblings. Mm-hmm. Other people had gone through or grew up poor. And managers are like, dude, I can totally relate with you. Yeah. That's why we need abilities on here.
Right.
So my attributes came from all these clients that are like, dude, I'm giving you a shot because of X.
Yeah.
Because of Y. And so and listen, if I would have let all the things in my life bring me down, we wouldn't be having a call right now.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. Like, life's always going to be uphill. You have uphill battles. Yeah. I have uphill battles. If you can't talk about them, then you're carrying around a lot of stress that will eventually end up like a volcano and you'll erupt.
I always felt that work, was a release, like a really good distraction.
That's a great way to put it.
And it was stability. When I had chaos in my personal life, it was something that I could rely on, So I think that's, and I think too, I always had like a more of a long-term view. I don't know if I've ever been able to accomplish that in my personal life. Yeah. Like my long-term strategic approach to my personal life. I don't know if I've come up with that yet, but in the work, I knew what I did today was going to impact me, not just tomorrow, but 6 months from now, a year from now. And one decision could really throw you off. So I think it was a little bit of therapy. It was a little bit of that like release, stability, and it's like, okay, I have something that I can actually control in my life right now because of my choices. So that was, I think, for me, how I looked at it.
There's a piece of advice that Ryan gave me. I keep going back to Ryan, and it was build your team and the business will follow. Build culture and everything else will follow. So there were times in Philadelphia where it was like Friday at 1 o'clock, and I'd be like, all right, we're team building. We're going to the bar. We're playing Golden Gate. We're playing pool. Yeah. And we'd stay there till 5 o'clock. Then we'd all disperse for the weekend.
Yeah.
And maybe that wasn't the right, people might be like, wow, you're not working hard. You're not grinding. And you know what I was doing? I was building a team that would walk through fire for me.
Yeah.
And I would do the same damn thing for them.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to know when to like hit the gas and when to hit the brake.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, those last couple of hours of desperation, I mean, what's that going to accomplish? If you didn't get it done already this week, might as well hit the bar.
It'll be there on Monday. Just tell your client you need one more day to find that candidate. Yeah, but I mean, I had fun with it. I enjoyed the process. And when it was time for me to leave and come back to Michigan, that office was ready for me to leave. They didn't need me anymore. Like they were ready.
That is amazing. That's got to be an awesome feeling. Can you imagine if you had done it differently and were strapped to that location and because you were so valuable, like a leader should be the least valuable once you have that established, right? Like, would you agree with that?
Yeah. Well, get this here. This is totally on par with what you're saying. In Detroit, built it up, had 15 people. I had probably 25 accounts. We had gotten over Indianapolis, the mothership, right? The hub of our company. And when I left Detroit, within 1 year, everyone but one person left.
Wow.
And it was because my leadership style was very much, they were there for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it became a cluster. You know what? For Ryan, he'd have to spend all his time in Detroit. I'm out in Philadelphia. So I'm like, dude, I can't do this in Philly. It can't be about me. It's got to be about we. It's us. It's all of us. And so I changed my leadership style based on the mistakes that I had made in Detroit. I wasn't perfect.
So how did you recognize that? When did you recognize that? And what did you change?
Again, I think everybody was leading the office. I let everybody help make decisions. And what I also did too, and this is so important, not just in staffing, in life, in parenting, is explain your why. Why are you doing the things that you're doing?
Yeah.
People forget that either if you don't explain it, they think you have a hidden agenda. But if you explain, hey, I'm making this phone call, I'm going to use this tone because I'm trying to get this accomplished. They're like, oh, awesome. Yeah. They're like learning as I go, learning on the fly. I always talk about always be learning, always be teaching.
Yeah.
So if you learn something new, stop right away, teach your team right away. And I just took that to Pennsylvania, to Philly.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have any friends and we didn't know anybody, that team became our friends.
Yeah.
And I would always hang out with them after work on the weekends. And clients, I would ask for friendship more than I asked for requirements.
So how did you know that you had made mistakes?
Well, because Ryan was spending all of his time in Detroit. Everybody had left. And like they gravitated to me. And when I left, they'd lost that fire. And the person that we put in charge wasn't necessarily the right person to necessarily run the office.
Got it.
It was bad. There was a lot of turnover. They lost almost everybody. One person stayed, and she's actually still working in that market today.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it. It's, and that's a testament to your humility, because a lot of people would have just taken that on like, oh, of course, like everyone left because I left, but you you turned that into something productive.
Yeah. I realized I wasn't perfect. Like, whoa, I can't lead like this. I have to lead with a team.
Right.
And so I was never alone in Philadelphia. Whereas Detroit, I felt alone, isolated as a leader. My word was the highway. What was the word? And, showed up at 8:01, you may as well go home.
Yeah.
Like, you there early. But in Philly, I just became a lot more loose. In the same breath, the whole company was waiting for me to get Philly going. They like, hey, move out there for 18 months. You'll have it going in 18 months. I'm like, dude, going a Midwest boy to Philadelphia, if you say pop in Philly, they're like, what the hell are you talking about? It's soda.
Talk about adaptability.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
It took 5 years. And at that 18-month mark, I had a call with Ryan and Jeff, the two partners, the two owners. And it was a very, very heated conversation and serious conversation about whether I should leave or not. They told me 18 months. And I made some major sacrifices and stayed because if I would have left then, the team would have fallen apart. Like we weren't ready yet.
Yeah.
And so I stayed for 4 more years.
Yeah.
And it was best decision I made. Like, it was totally worth it. And I find those people, I still love them to death. There's
great.
5 or 6 people that helped me open that office. I consider them family still.
That's amazing. 18 months is not a long time for starting
No,
from scratch at all.
no. I mean,
You're still in your
just take
infancy.
your feet wet.
Yeah. Yeah. When you said you led, or you had led sales meetings through this kind of rapport, how did you train that? Like, how did you teach your team? Like, what was your you kind of have to have some sort of process and training ritual, right?
Yeah.
How did you get them to do that same thing?
Took them with me on every meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, why not take the very people that are trying to help fill positions to the meetings where you're meeting with managers giving you the position?
Right.
Like, a lot of companies like, well, they're recruiters, they stay in the office, and the salespeople go out and sell. And I hated that approach. That was a stupid approach. First of all the clients call you a recruiter anyways. Like, hey, you're a recruiter. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm a salesperson. It didn't matter. So I bring the recruiters with me because then they were like, oh, you brought the person that's actually going to do the work.
Yeah.
And then the recruiter more. So I took them with me wherever I went.
Yeah.
Offices. Like, here's a great example. Comcast. Mm-hmm. Comcast had 185,000 to 200,000 employees when I walked in it, and Tech Systems had 120 consultants. And I told my staff, here's our plan. We're never going to ask for business until I tell you to. We need to learn first, staff second. They were such a large information technology company, really, that we needed to learn so it was a year and a half of out of offices, breakfasts, networking events, meetings with managers, but never asking for a requirement.
Yeah.
And then when the time came, Tech Systems became complacent. Manager gave us a call. Now we're still one of the largest firms that staffs Comcast across the country.
Phenomenal. Learn first, staff second. I like that.
Yep. Has to be that way. And I think that's that way. Isn't that way in life? I mean, you got to learn first.
Really is.
Anything.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
So, you talk about in your book too, curiosity, and how that is, let me stay out of town. Hold on.
I like that you said no's.
It's about building trust and respect. It's not about, just asking a bunch of questions. And you're right. It's funny. People, like, I can walk away from a conversation where somebody doesn't know anything about me. It took me a long time to realize this, but they know nothing about me. I used to ask all the questions about them. They did most of the talking, but you walk away like kind of knowing that you made a mark, even though you didn't really give up a lot of information, because, people, if you can get somebody to open up, that's such a great indicator that they're feeling like, well, you had the approachability, you nailed that, but they gain this like level of respect for you. It's almost like the psychological reaction, I think.
Yeah, like curiosity. I ask people in my workshops, they never get the answer correct. And I'm like, curiosity is about building trust, and stick with me. If you are asking secondary questions, not only does it show the person you're talking to that you're truly listening, you are building respect, but you know what else you're doing? You're building relatability. Like, the minute you ask more, manager, like, they might look at me as their son. They might look at me as their brother. I don't know. Right. But I know if I get more curious and I keep digging, I'm going to find something I can connect with them on. Yeah. So I think curiosity isn't just about asking questions for the sake of asking questions. It's to build massive trust, total respect, and complete relatability.
Yeah. So, okay. So you spent this lifetime in staffing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about the transition. Because number one, I need to figure out, how, like, founding a company is the most excruciating. I don't know if there's a word that really can describe agonizing, excruciating, brutal. Yeah. Just all of the worst of the worst. Feelings and in the world. But so you go from, you have these multiple successes, and rather than start a staffing company or stay in the world. Now you're kind of giving back to organizations from what you've learned. So tell me about that transition. When did you figure out you wanted to do this? When did you build the business? Walk me through that whole
It's a great
transition.
question. I had sat down with Ryan. We had a pretty candid lunch about almost 2 years ago today, or not today, but around this time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about where I was going to go in the company, and I'd already done everything.
Okay.
Like, I was the chief experience. I'd already done everything.
Right.
Like, look, I just want to give you this opportunity. Like, your kids are getting older. I want you to be at all their games. I want you to be available for them. And they laid out a great opportunity. And while I was at this conference, when we had this launch, one of the speakers on stage said something. They said something in a statement, and it said soul focus. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be my name. It's head and heart. I had given Keynote
I like that.
because right now this podcast is my sole focus.
Okay.
And as soon as that's done, I'll have another sole focus that day. We all do. We all have them.
Yeah.
So we were able to build the largest NPS score because we cared.
Mm-hmm.
And I built this rubric of attributes from clients telling us why they use this.
Okay.
So I knew. I went to lawyers after, and I'm like, listen, does this stick? Can I get this copywritten? Can you look into it? They did all the homework, and they're like, yeah, this is actually legit. This is yours. And now I had the copyright underneath it, which is outstanding, huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
And then
very cool.
Just after that, I had a publishing company reach out to me, and they're like, they'd seen some of my posts, and they're like, you should be writing a book. Like, you've done some crazy stuff. You're still going through a lot. And so I thought about it, and I'm like, I immersed myself into it. I wrote it in 3 weeks. And
get out of here.
Yeah, I wrote it in 3 weeks. I sat in my office and got very kind of dialed in. And I wrote it, and it wasn't hard for me to write about my 12 attributes. It wasn't hard for me to write about my life. There's a lot in this book that people would never open up about.
Yeah.
But if I had had this book 25 years ago when I was an AE starting out, you know how much better I would have been at my relationship building? When I realized, man, I gotta show eagerness, sit at the edge of my seat, never sit in a lobby, take notes even when they tell you not to.
Yeah.
Like, enthusiasm, a freaking live the day approach.
Yeah.
Like, I have that. That's my deepest chapter is enthusiastic. Yeah. Because I use it, and it has a lot to do with death. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to make this a downtrodden part of the podcast, but I used to have the mentality to win the day. Yeah. I had my board, win the day, win every day. Mm-hmm. But when I saw my dad in hospice struggling to live because he had Lewy body dementia, so his mind was telling him stories that weren't there, but he knew everybody in the room, which is really hard to deal with.
I can't.
I just realized, like, I don't need to win anymore. I just need to live. Ooh. I need to live as much as I can. I need to live this day. So today, this Wednesday, I'm going to live it to the best of my ability. And Thursday, tomorrow, I'm going to live that. I'm going to have roadblocks. I'm going to have speed bumps.
Right.
But I'm alive. I get to hear the birds chirp. Dude, we're breathing. You and I are building a relationship. You know how blessed that is? Mm-hmm. And I think people lose sight of that. They look at their wallet. They look at their income. They look at their title. And they think that's what their life is supposed to be made up of. And I think that's sickening. Yeah. I look at relationships, connection. So knowing that somebody can rely on me. I'll be there 24/7, 365. I know, for 30 minutes we talked, and now we're doing this recording. But if you called me on a Saturday, I'd answer the phone. And I think that's that's the important things in life. So I wanted to create a company where I could give back my knowledge, where I could teach people EQ, emotional intelligence. I don't have the largest IQ. I went to CMU. But I have EQ where I can read a room. I can read someone listening to me and realize I need to shut up and let them talk. Yeah. And there's so many people out there that just don't know any of that stuff. So I'm just trying to teach them.
I love it. So you're, so how are things going for you now? You have, so do you consult with companies? Do you do speaking engagements? Like, what is your typical, it's not a typical day to day, but
Workshops. I just did a workshop about 3 weeks ago, and workshop turned into a 6-month extended framework learning with this company. And that's kind of how workshops will go.
Yeah.
Because most workshops, they talk about maybe one of these attributes. They'll come in and talk about consistency for 2 hours and then leave.
Okay.
I don't do that. When I do a workshop, I'm going to immerse everybody into it. At the end of it, they're going to sign a commitment letter with me. I sign it with them.
Okay.
That they're going to go through this with me. I'm with them on this journey to get better as a human.
Yeah.
Because it's human improvement that ultimately leads to professional success.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody that became professionally successful and then became a better human. It doesn't really work like that. Right. So it turned into a long-term engagement. So I can probably do 3 or 4 of those at a time.
Okay.
But I know right now my life is supposed to be on stage. It's supposed to be in front of a microphone, helping people with, you name it. If they were binge drinkers, I talk about that in my book. Gave up alcohol 6 years ago. Don't care. Don't judge anybody, but I just don't need it in my life.
Yeah.
The grief, the 70 pounds I took off of my body, the daily cold plunges that I do to fight off dementia, the knee replacements. I mean, I'm still having issues with my right knee. I might have to have a 5th replacement.
Oh, jeez.
And just think about, and this goes into compassion. Now we have familiar compassion because we know each other. Otherwise, it would have been stranger compassion. But think about waking up every day, and every step that you take, it feels different in your knees because my devices are different sizes. Oof. And that's every day of my life.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
So I truly believe that life was never supposed to make it easy for me. And to your point, this is harder. This is 1,000,000 times harder than starting Detroit or starting Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
Doing something on your own is hard. It is, like, to your point, it can be debilitatingly hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I believe in what I'm doing. Nothing will stop that belief in me.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm a good person. I'm not perfect. But I know I'm a good human with a good heart.
Yeah.
And I need other people in this world to understand that. We need that now more than ever.
Yeah.
We need to be curious as opposed to being furious. Wow, that's a good one. I'm going to use that, curious to fear, because otherwise you get furious. When you're driving your car and someone's driving 10 miles under the speed limit, I use curiosity to help me from becoming furious because I can't know why they're driving. Maybe they just lost somebody. Maybe they were just diagnosed with cancer. Maybe they're just struggling and having a low part of their life.
Yeah.
You don't know the person driving in front of you. So just chill out.
know.
Where are you going that's so important you can't just chill out?
Yeah. I find myself coaching my kids on this more than I practice it myself, unfortunately. But I catch myself all the time if they come home and they're complaining about somebody at school, or especially teachers, because that's the biggest thing. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Like, do you know what their life is like?
Yeah, you have no idea.
Do you know what they're dealing with? So we talk about that all the time, is to try to put yourself in someone else's shoes. And isn't that like one of the biggest cliche sayings? But if you really do it, you find a lot more peace in your own existence, I think. And even just an example you use, a road rage.
Yeah.
That's a huge,
Somebody in and you wave at them, they don't wave back. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Why didn't you wave back? What the hell's wrong with you?
I know, yeah.
You're like, you've totally been there. So I use this analogy in my keynote speeches, and I bring it up. It's speed bumps.
Okay.
Everybody has speed bumps. You have them every day. So do I.
Yep.
And you can either go over them at 40 miles an hour, make everybody feel like you're a maniac, and then blame the speed bump. Or,
of course,
you can just slow down and take it for what it's worth. Maybe somebody was hurt. God forbid, killed.
Yeah.
But speed bumps are the daily bumps you're going to go through in life.
Yeah.
You have to look at it and just slow down. And I have to do it every day too. Tiffany, I'm guilty as well. I have to work on anger. Being honest with you, being very real. Like, anger is a thing, not really professionally, but if things don't go my way at home, you just you blow up. And that's not something I want my kids to see.
Yeah.
So I kind of, every time something's coming up where I'm feeling like that stress is building, I just say speed bump. And It calms me back down.
That's good.
So yeah, that's my analogy I use.
Love it. Talk to me about CARE, your CARE framework.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a equation that everybody has. So for you, it's probably, you are pretty curious. I'm trying to guess yours right now. I would say you are 100% authentic. I would say that you are extremely relatable. And I would say that you are a pretty enthusiastic person. Like that's my view of you. And I've only known you for a short amount of time. But everybody has a core CARE equation.
Okay.
Everybody also has a premier attribute, the one that God gave you, the one that you don't have to work on. Mine, for instance, is being authentic. I don't know how not to be me. I'm a freaking goofball. I don't take things too seriously.
Right.
I don't walk around with an ego. Therefore, imposter syndrome is easy for me to use.
Yeah.
But also, people also have a couple weaknesses that they need to work on. Ask my wife how adaptable I am. Right? Like this framework works in your personal life as much as it does in your professional life. In fact, on my website, I have a testimonial from a student who was trying to get into medical school who didn't know how to interview. I gave him my CARE card, explained my framework to him. He was accepted at every single hospital he interviewed for medical school.
That's amazing. What did he change? What did he take from it?
He didn't know how to show respect. He didn't know standing in a lobby, shaking a hand the right way, taking notes. AI can take notes for you. Building, I call it relatable connectors. Write down 10 things you've done in your life. Odds are the person you're talking to probably has done one of those 10 things in their life, and then you build a connector with them. You do that whether you're getting into medical school, law school, any school, a job interview. If you can build a relatable connector, they don't care about your freaking resume.
Yeah.
They care that they can talk to you like a human, and you're a human, not a cyborg talking back.
Yeah.
So the framework is 100% proven. Like, it works. If you put this all into a blender, you get the it factor. You get those conversations where you're like, holy shit, that dude has got something going on and I want more of it. I don't know what it is he's selling, but I'm buying it.
Yeah.
And you get that. You can get to that level. And I talk to everybody in my keynotes. Everybody in that room can build the it factor. How much do you care? How much do you truly care about improving yourself?
Yeah.
If you just live by the standard of today's the day and tomorrow's just another day, no, tomorrow's an opportunity.
Yeah.
So, and I also live by the statement that I think that failure is where opportunity breeds. And all of the failures, that's where I learned. That's where that's where the opportunities came from.
Yeah.
My need. So here, get this. I wanted to sell my house and buy a house that had a master suite on the same floor because of the stairs with my niece.
Okay.
And then I realized after my 4th freaking surgery, I needed those stairs. Those were actually a exercise just sitting there every day for me.
Yeah.
And I was going to sell my house and like try to find a whole new way. I have a nice house. I was going to sell it because of stairs.
Wow.
Now I look at stairs differently. Now I look at stairs as a challenge, a way for me to work my knees a little bit. Just a different perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So how do your keynotes work? And where do you have some upcoming engagements?
And so I'm most likely going to be doing a revenue generating association on the East Coast called Rev Up. It's not locked up yet. That will be in late early November.
Okay.
This past spring, I did a podcast keynote. So they started it as a podcast, and then it worked into I gave the closing keynote for like 15 minutes. So It was very unique, very different. And then, frankly, I'm trying to just build up more. It is not easy to just land a keynote. It's a lot of work that goes into it. So doing these podcasts, getting my name out there, building relationships with people, building my network on all platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. That's building it. And I just know that at some point, and don't laugh at me when I say this, but I truly believe manifestation is real.
Oh, I
And
100% agree.
bingo. And
I
I
wouldn't laugh at
believe,
that. I've seen it.
yeah, I wanted to help lead a company. When I was in the 6th grade, I ended up doing that. But I believe that, like, I want to be the male Mel Robbins or
Mm,
Renee Brown. I
yeah.
believe I stay at it no matter what. It's not supposed to be easy.
Right.
Like, if you actually, even if you look at the book,
Mm-hmm.
there's a hidden message if you even look at the cover of the book.
Yeah.
And it's that life is uphill.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to be uphill because it's never flat. It's never going to be flat.
No.
I don't want it to be flat.
Yeah.
So I want more engagements. I want to have as many keynotes as I have because I want to help people.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't about monetarily becoming a million. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I care about changing somebody's life. Or maybe someone has a problem with binging and they don't know how to handle it. They can come to me. Or maybe someone's had a knee replacement. They haven't had 4 or 5, but they can come to me. Or maybe they've lost somebody and they've seen it happen. They don't know how to deal with grief and they come to me.
Yeah.
So my keynotes start with, I ask everybody in the audience, have they gone through anything they've had to work on in their life, anything they had to come back from? And they start thinking about it. And then I instantly put up on the screen a picture, an x-ray of my knees. And I tell everybody I've had 4 knee replacements after losing 70 pounds. And I've changed my life. I do and they're like, whoa. And what am I doing? I'm building relatability.
Yeah.
But my keynote is essentially called Live the Day. I've changed it. It's just about everybody walking out there going, wow, I get a card. I get to figure out what my equation is. Mm-hmm. I can figure out what God gave me. I can go home and use it with my wife, or use it with my kids, use it with my boyfriend or girlfriend. It helps you build stronger relationships.
Yeah.
And then, oh, by the way, take it to work with you and see how you do there.
Yeah.
And so the group that I'm working with, it's a very large construction firm, second largest construction firm in the state of Michigan. They're dialed in to use this for 6 months. You're talking about, mid 40s to maybe 50-year-old men that are leaders, but maybe they're not enthusiastic and eager all the time. So how are they helping their people downstream?
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, this is so. And what I've heard from a lot of people is it's so simplistic. It's not a profile where you get labeled an I. This is like real. This is some real shit.
Right.
I didn't think
more
I'd see that.
Human.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So how, not to give away all your secrets, but so I have a couple questions here. All right. Yeah. So you guess, you took a stab at mine.
How often? Hey, was that close?
I think pretty close. Yeah. I do feel though that I'm probably more naturally, and I've talked about this before, more of a skeptic, more of a, negative Nelly. And I work on that every day. And that's where the manifestation I believe in comes from. Not because I have seen it happen in a positive way. I've seen it happen more to me in a negative way because I negatively manifested things that happened. And this is, my younger self. And I'm like, of course that's happened to me, Yeah. Of course, just my luck. How many times have we said that?
Always me.
It's always happened to me.
Yeah.
So, I spent my 20s kind of going through those emotions, and then my 30s learning this about myself, right? And I think at my like I still sometimes gravitate towards the bitterness. And it's
really?
Yeah. And but it's not as heavy anymore because I've learned a lot. I've matured a lot, and I understand that's not how the world works. The world does not out to get me. But you have to, your brain isn't smart enough to know what's true, right? You have to tell it and feed it those positive
affirmations.
Thank you. Yes. So I've kind of built that into a process for myself. And I have a friend that, anytime that like either one of us feel like, all right, I'm feeling a little sorry for myself. Hey, I need some affirmations. And then we tell each other, sometimes, I'll say, all right, I have this, this, and this. Or, we'll tell each other, all right, well, you got this going for you, got this going. So it's like we've got this kind of accountability, this
Kind of
affirmation
each other
accountability. Up. Yeah. And sorry, I am getting to my questions, but you just reminded me. I used to do mentoring and coaching when I was a staffing leader and training. That was kind of where I started after I was a recruiter for a long time. And I remember somebody a few years ago who asked me, who reminded me so much of me. And he was like, kind of rough around the edges and going through kind of those learning about himself and understanding that he had these negative tendencies too. He's like, yeah, everybody talks about mindset, positive mindset. Like, I'm so sick of that. He wasn't as aggressive, but he said, how? Like, how do you get the positive mindset? I'm not there yet. And I know you're supposed to have this positive mindset. So I said, you have to make it a process. If you can't get there, you have to find something that works for you. What energizes you? What makes you feel good about yourself and good about your life? Or what are you enthusiastic about in the future? And I told him, that was one of the things that I did. And sometimes it's just taking a mental break. Whatever it is that gets you going, you have to make it a part. You have to make it a discipline. So for people who don't have that natural ability, or positivity doesn't come as cleanly to them, that's what I've done. And now it's in the forefront. Now it's like part of my everyday. And I try to soak up as much, like, what, I'm trying to soak up as much from you as I possibly can. Like the whole imposter syndrome thing, like that was a light bulb for me. Like, oh, doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing.
Yeah.
So,
no.
so how do you, is this on a one-on-one basis that you do with people, and how do they come up with what their framework is, and then how do they implement changes?
So number one, I journal every day. That is, even for a man to say that.
Okay.
It's like, it's almost like this masculinity thing that I don't know what the problem is with it, because
right.
frames your mind the right way. Mm-hmm. And I do the 5-minute journal. So it gives, and you have to write your affirmation every day.
Morning or nights?
Morning. And then at the end of it, it's the journal, it's the morning. And then it's like, how did your day go? So you come back.
Oh, okay.
I do it every day. I built it consistently. It's a consistent pattern in my life. I need that for balance.
Okay.
And then when you're talking about people that are not optimistic, what I try to do, and I do coaching, and I have a full assessment that they fill out. And at the assessment, it grades you on where you fit out of a 24-point system.
Okay.
It's got an ROI and an ROY, a return on your investment and a return on you.
Oh, okay.
So it's a total breakdown on how you're doing, because ROI is more important than ROI these days, especially with
totally.
But you need to find an investment that's got a return on yourself.
Right.
And I also believe too, when I sit down with people and they have a glass half full, I break them of that.
Yeah.
And I break them of that by walking them through the process of realizing that they're alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I use all of the grief, and Tiffany, I carry a tremendous amount of grief every day. Sometimes it's hard for me to get through a day where I'm not thinking about my mom, who should still be here. She just passed in December. Or my brother that 27 years ago went in front of me. He had 4 kids underneath the age of 10.
Oh my God.
Like, I live for him.
Yeah.
And I kind of believe that he can see life through my eyes a little bit. I know that sounds really deep, and then my dad it has been piled on my shoulders.
Yeah.
But it was meant to be put there.
Right.
So with people that are not optimistic, I kind of get them to the point where I'm like, wait a minute. So you have a bank account that has some money in it where you can pay. And they're like, they start realizing, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There are positive. I actually could switch this mentality.
Yeah.
By the end of my coaching tenure with people, they're like enlightened. They're ready to go. They've come up with a consistent pattern on how to execute a better way to live their life. So it works. You just have to lean in. You have to be willing to go forward.
Yeah.
Go backwards.
Yeah. No, I love that. It's so you talked about the big company that you're working with now, and you're working with a bunch of leaders. So when did you start working with them? You said it's a 6-month commitment. Is it?
I had a workshop with them 4 weeks ago, and then really the next day the manager called me and he's like, "We got to keep this going. We have to. This has got it. We got it." I'm like, "Well, let's just do 6 months." Yeah. And we'll have a call at 30 days. And then the next month I'll come in for a 2-hour session. Next month we'll do a call. Next month after that, we'll do a 2-hour session. And we'll deep dive these attributes. Okay. And find out how ingrained they really are into their day to day. How much are they sharing with their team? Yeah. Like even sharing with your team that you're going through a system to become a better leader is something that you need to share. Totally. Just the whole idea of like, dude, like no one should have an ego enough where they can't learn, listen, and try to provide a better influence on the people around them. Yeah. No one. And so I think it comes from my upbringing. Okay. You know, Catholic school, poorest kid, hand me down the shoes. Yep. That was my life. Yeah. And I want people to realize that they can keep going. They have to continue. Like my older brother, he's not the healthiest person in the world. And I keep telling him, man, you got to lose some weight. You got to. Yeah. I can't get him to do it, but I'm not going to stop trying to get him to do it. Right. So there's just a lot that goes into it, but I landed it. They want me to stick on for 6 months. That's great. I want to do that with additional companies. So I'm looking to land a couple more workshops because most workshops die on the vine when you walk out the room. Oh, yeah. Like, oh, it was HR fluff. Oh, my God. For 24 hours, they're on a high, and then they go back to work, and it's like, not me. My assessment ends with a commitment to care. And they fill it out, and they sign it, and they date it, and then I sign it with them. Yeah. And so, that gets me. Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say, how do you measure that later on? So they're scored during the workshop. They score themselves. Okay. When we get back on, we'll see, did they follow through on the game plan of how to build their weak attributes up to positives or a strong attribute? Okay. And then at the end of the 6 months, they'll reassess themselves and see where they score. And I've guaranteed them they're going to score in the highest column that you can within my assessment. Cool. So it's powerful because it works. And I've had these managers are like, man, I didn't realize. Like I kind of come to work some days and I'm kind of not approachable. I'm like, well, you're a leader. Yeah. Like you kind of have to be. You have to put that all aside. Not to be. But to get somebody to open up, even to say it, is a step in the right direction. Yeah. So again, EQ is more important than IQ. I will take it to my grave. And with AI, you have to be able to have EQ because AI can get you ready for a meeting, but it can't go to the meeting. It can't go through the meeting. You have to do that. Yeah. AI can't go through this podcast and give you my answers. Like, this is from my heart. This is from my head and heart. Soul focus. That would be an awkward interview. Hold on. Let me check. Yeah. You'd have to wait for Claude to answer. But again, I put it on here. The best version of your personal and professional life, and personal comes first. Yeah. You don't grow your professional and then work on personal. Yeah. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, I love it. What's how do you find your clients? And I know like you're big with relationships. Like, how do you know what a good client is? Are people coming to you? What's that look like? People are coming and reaching out to me on LinkedIn. It's starting to really kind of come together. I've got a pretty good following on LinkedIn. I've got a really good following on YouTube, so they can see my content. Mm-hmm. They can see some of my speeches I've given. Yeah, on YouTube. Under Soul Focused Mindset. On Instagram, I do a lot more unconventional posts. I've posted from a cold plunge. Yeah. And I talk about dementia. I don't talk about, oh, look at me, I'm in a cold plunge. I'm working hard on my dad died from dementia. Yeah. And when you get into a cold plunge, your brain goes into fight or flight. Yeah. when it does that, it releases endorphins and dopamine into your brain that your body needs. And so I do it, and I think about my dad while I'm in a cold plunge.
Yeah.
I do it every day.
So you do that every day?
Yeah.
A cold plunge. Where do you do a cold plunge?
I have a system at my house. I got just one of those horse troughs, that big old horse trough that you can get into. And then I have a unit that I have water going in and out of it, and with a filter, and it puts it at the temperature that I want. I usually go to about 43 to 45 degrees. And sometimes I'll get in there for like 15 minutes.
Wow.
And I will get to the point where I'm smiling. I'm like, yes, because I know it's working in my body. It's a good thing for the soul. It's a good thing for your life.
Yeah. What's that?
And I've probably Pink Floyd playing in my ear pods, so it helps me too.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's a big commitment to have a whole system at your house. When did you learn this, and when did you start doing it? This is such a newer concept to me. I had only recently heard, what's everybody doing these cold plunges? Like, are they crazy? That's just insane.
Well,
I didn't realize all the health benefits to it.
So, like, saunas are huge for people. Listen, I haven't gotten a test to tell me if I have my dad's gene. I don't know if I will, but I know that right now, like, I very much follow, like, Gary Brecka and everything he does. And he talks about the benefits of submerging in the cold. Okay. And your body, what your brain does in that first 30 seconds is unbelievable. It changes. Your body wants to get out, but your brain keeps you forced in. So it builds up a toughness in you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get in it. It's cold as shit.
Yeah.
But the minute I get in it, I realize, oh, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
So if I don't have the sauna yet, I'll start doing sauna work too. So I'll go from hot to cold.
Okay.
It's a great way to get rid of all of the toxins in your body.
Right.
It gives you a lot of mental clarity, a ton of energy. And for anybody out there that wants to boost their metabolism, a cold plunge shoots it up like a firework.
Okay.
Like your metabolism boost, like, because you sped up your heart rate. And then you've been able to slow it back down to a breathing level.
Yeah.
And that whole time your brain's like trying to fight this urge to want to get out. It is.
Yeah.
It's very powerful. And I just learned it from following the right people on social platforms.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. Does your wife do it?
No. She's like, hell no. My kids won't get into it. My wife won't get into it. She thinks I'm nuts. But I like, the neighbors can usually hear me singing. I'll sing while I'm in there. I don't care. Like, I'm all about it. Like, actually, my neighbor who's down the street from me came to a baseball game. He's like, dude, I think I heard you singing Pink Floyd. I'm like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you probably did.
That's funny.
But it just helps me. I think about the memories of my brother. I think about my mom now. I think about my dad. I think about losing 70 pounds. I think about the titanium that's half my knees. And I find peace in there. I think I come out of it, I'm less stressed, and I'm kind of ready to tackle the day. So I go from that right into a workout.
Yeah. Okay. So,
it's totally worth it. You got to try it.
Yeah.
You're glass half full.
Well, how often are you supposed to do it to actually have long-term health benefits?
They say you just do it 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
But built it into being more, I'm like an all or nothing thinker.
Right.
My therapist tells me. So it works better for me if I'm in it consistently.
Right.
And it builds a pattern. I talk about this. How do you build consistency?
Yeah.
Because you can't just say, I'm going to be more consistent. It starts with yourself.
Yep.
So you do something for you. It does something for Tiffany today. And that Tiffany's going to do the next build is for your personal life.
Yeah.
What's one thing in your personal life you have to do? You have kids. What's the one thing you have to do with your kids that day? And then there's one thing professionally you have to do that day.
Yeah.
And when you can check the boxes on all 3 and start that pattern up, you're building consistency.
Right.
And when you get really good at it, you'll add more. Like, I can do 2 or 3 things for myself every day before I start the day. And a couple more things personally. And then I can do a couple more things professionally. And that's how you build consistent habits.
Yeah. Yeah. I've lost a lot of that in the last few months of, because I'm not sure, I don't know how much of my recent story we talked about, but I had to kind of build this business twice in the last
Yeah,
year.
you mentioned that a little bit.
Yeah. So I, didn't work out with my original developer. And it just like plummeted in March. So I had a crossroads. It was like, well, I've invested all of this. I have investors. I've invested myself, my time. I haven't been paid in a long time. Like there was so much. And I really believe in my software. It's like it's a gap I'm closing for the staffing industry with something nobody's tried before. Nobody's done this. So I believe in it. And it was like,
Yep.
I either have to rebuild this myself. And luckily technology is on my side where I had the ability and I didn't have to find a new developer, or I have to go back to work.
Yeah.
And that's actually something that I still think of every single day is like, all right, well, it takes a long time to get some revenue generated, right? So I started rebuilding this. I started April 1st. After I had, it started last year. I want to say it was a year ago, like
Yeah.
with the developer almost exactly in 2025. So then, that's 10 months of work that is honestly gone. It's just gone. So I restarted April 1st and, I was pretty proud of what I had accomplished this last year. I lost a ton of weight. I had such a shit last couple years in my old company, and I'm so glad it's behind me. It was an awful experience that I'm grateful for now.
Yeah.
Left there, was under an immense amount of pressure and stress and couldn't be myself and was the worst of the worst type of like toxicity, which I had never dealt with before. I was always lucky. I, had a great environment. So anyway, let me land the plane. So I had built this really good routine up. I was going to the gym every single day. I was never a gym buff. And now all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'll go to the gym, at 5 a.m. every day. I was at the gym, 5 a.m. every day. Get up at 3:45, have my little protein, iced coffee, like gym, back by 6:30, walk the dog, starting my day. Phenomenal. Like I never felt better. Was in great shape, lost a ton of weight. Not even that, was building my,
Yeah,
good.
you just look good.
April 1st. Like now I'm in a hoodie with a ponytail, 24 hours a day, developing. Like I would just lay back in my chair and take a 20-minute nap. You know what I mean? I'd go on my couch and like sleep for an hour or two. Obsession took over with rebuilding, because now it's like, if I'm going to do this, I got to do it now. It has to get done, because I was supposed to be making revenue back in January, and here it's right. So that was my long-winded version, but I've lost my routine. And every day I'm like, I got to get back to it. And I'm like, and then it's like, holy shit. I had built this consistency in my life that I loved, and now I have to restart it. Right. And it's like, and there's this mental block there of, okay, well, I don't want to miss out on any work, because I'm working these crazy hour days, just like still trying to build this business compacted in what I should have had 6 months. Now it's like I have 2 months, right, that I have to make revenue.
Yeah.
So I had this fear of I can't miss a moment of making outreach, building a relationship, setting a meeting. I got to set these meetings every day. You know what I mean? So now it's like I had overcome all of these things already. I had overcome all of this. And now I've recently put myself back in it. I don't know what I'm asking you or telling you, but I
kind of feel like if you want my advice from what I just heard,
why not? Yeah.
You've kind of lost balance.
Mm-hmm.
And when you lose balance, now you're putting more pressure on yourself. Like when you don't do something for yourself every day, you start to build up this compounding amount of stress and anxiety. Like, I got to get revenue too.
It's real.
I got to get another keynote. I've got to get another workshop.
Yeah.
Got to get that going. But if I don't take care of myself, mental clarity, journaling, if I don't do that stuff, none of the other stuff's going to come forward anyways. You're just going to keep running on a treadmill without anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So my best advice for you is like the way that you just described how great you felt leaving the gym. I'm not saying get up at 3 a.m. Give yourself some grace. But I do feel like the more, if you can jump back into that, the only way you're going to be successful is if between the ears you feel that peace.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, again, advice when you want it. Otherwise, it can be perceived as criticism. So I'm not trying to, I'm just saying that I know how healthy it'll be for you. Yeah. You'll have more benefits professionally if you get back to doing the things personally.
Yeah, I got to get through that. So I was doing it. It was like, all right, at least let me stay 3 times a week going, and I have those 3. And it's so true. The days that I had that, I just accomplished more than days that I don't, even though I'm putting more time in. It's crazy. But I built in this, like, I have some sort of like anxiety now. Like I go to the gym and I'm like, I got to get back. I got to get back. I got to do this. I got to do that. Forgot to do this. You know what I mean? So it's like now kind of releasing that, I think you nailed it when you said pressure. Like, it's like this immense amount of pressure I've put on myself. It's like doing it by yourself. There's no business partner or corporation I can lean on.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But you have to get back to doing that. Like, I don't know how any other way to live my life other than to take care. If you're living for your kids, which you should be living for your kids. Yeah. You want longevity to be there. So taking care of self first, a must.
Right.
Journaling. If it's anything else, promise yourself that every single day you're going to write down an affirmation. Yeah. Because that's how you build up manifestation in your life. Yep. You have to write it and write it and write it. I'm never going to give up. This is going to work. It's going to happen. It's never going to fail. I'm going to keep going every effing day. Yeah. And that helps with manifestation. Yeah. I truly believe that. I believe it's happened in my life. I didn't want to become an author. I wasn't trying to, but I knew I had a powerful message that could help people.
You do.
And so I manifested it and it became a bestseller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's crazy, Jonathan, I know you're right, because I've been there. I've done it. I've preached it. I've lived it. I've learned it. And I'm like, now I'm back in this. I'm like, how did I get here? This. So it's like.
Sometimes taking your own advice is the toughest advice to take.
I know. It is. It is. And, and the other thing is, it's like, I don't want to lose that right either to help others and to mentor. And because that's another part of my business is I have a smaller business. I'm not focused on it as much anymore, but coaching and mentoring.
Yeah.
And that's probably part of it too. I've kind of let that slip on purpose because I really need to focus on my software company. But it's like, if I'm not practicing what I preach, how the hell am I going to have any credibility if I'm trying to help somebody else? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that either every day.
Let's just say you get your app built in 2 months.
Yeah.
And in that time, you don't do anything to take care of yourself. And right after you get it ready to go and you launch it, you fall ill with something.
Ugh. Yeah.
But if you were taking care of yourself and look at the best leaders on the planet, the best CEOs out there, the best C-suite executives that I've ever met in my life, they find balance in their day.
Yep.
And that's where that's that take care of self, go to the gym, do an affirmation, journal something, cold plunge, whatever the hell you want it to be.
Yeah.
You have to do that, or otherwise what you're trying to get to will only be half as good as it could be because you're not there. You're not healthy enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's how
I totally agree. I did not mean for you to become my personal therapist on this podcast, but I thought I would take a little advantage.
You kind of did. Let's just admit, I'm kidding.
I did. I took advantage. I went for it.
This is what I don't know. I don't know how I do this. I just know that I can connect with people, and I have a vigor on life.
Yeah.
I don't want to die. I want to be here for as long as I can possibly be.
Well,
and I think that's where enthusiasm comes in, man. Live the day. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to win this day. Just live it.
I love that transition you made from winning the day to live the day, and that the outlook that you gained from it.
Yeah, it was my dad was my idol. I loved my dad, and he didn't want to die. Yeah. He was talking about it while he was in hospice and crying, and it was an awful thing to see, and we all knew it was coming. Yeah. And and when you're in a hospice facility and you're staying the night there, it's really eerie because the people on the rooms next to you, the next time you look in the room and the bed's empty. And it's like, Jesus, this is happening. This is happening to my dad.
Right.
And I'm here trying to win the day.
Right.
Dude, what a shitty way to look at things. Yeah. I just want to live the day. And it takes pressure off. And it makes the speed bumps easier to get over.
Yeah.
And it makes you more relatable with people.
Yeah.
And possibly creates a glass half full optimism.
Well, because let's just face it, you are not going to win every day.
No.
And I think,
most days you're going to lose.
Right. I think it's what what I'm taking from you is, you're going to win something if you keep at it. And that's what living will do for you. It's all leading to the wind.
Here's a saying for you. This is a deep thought by Johnny Eldridge. Greatness in a person is not pursuing it. Think about that for a second.
Say that again.
Greatness in a person is not pursuing it.
Oh, interesting.
If I were thinking about building a great company and being the best leader in Philadelphia I could ever be, while I was in that time frame, I never would have gotten it accomplished.
Yeah.
It's in the pursuit. It's falling forward. It's realizing you're not going to be perfect. It's realizing on a meeting, I did fat guy in a little coat on a client meeting, and I ripped my salesperson's coat. This is when I was heavier. It was freaking hilarious, and the client loved it and hired. They were like, "I got to work with you. Like, you got to come over more. Like, I want you to be here more." Wow. And that's authenticity.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just kind of a liberating feeling to just realize you can be yourself. I can have imposter syndrome. I can go to a major networking event and not carry an ego and just try to get people to laugh.
Yeah. How did you lose the weight? And when did
I looked at myself at 40? My wife's always been really, really healthy. Okay. And I hated the way that I looked. You've seen probably the before and after on LinkedIn. It's eye-opening, but I just realized I had big fear of death, and I no longer wanted to, and I knew that if I stayed on this path, I was probably going to take years off my life, and I wanted to start getting years back.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I got on the treadmill and just started running every day. And I put a picture. This is before my knee replacements. Okay. I put a picture of me fat on the wall right in front of my treadmill.
Oh.
And that was, I'm like, I looked at it every day.
And I'm like, accountability.
This. So I got 10 pounds, became 20, 20 became 30. I took off when I dropped alcohol. I lost that final 25 pounds I wanted to lose.
Wow.
It's like, I have a completely different life now. Sober's a great high.
Yeah. And it was just a switch that flipped for you.
It was just, it wasn't like no one told me, the doctors didn't tell me, no one said anything to me. Just like no one told me to quit drinking. I just did it.
Yeah.
I just realized I needed to change some aspects of my life because I had 2 young kids that I want to see them get married. I want to see them have kids. I want to meet my daughter-in-laws. And I won't be able to do that if I don't change my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what it was. It was almost like I didn't have a bad dream and wake up and start doing it. I didn't become Rocky to drink eggs every fucking day.
Right.
I just wanted to live longer for my kids and my wife. And I knew I needed to make changes. And so I just dedicated myself to doing it. And now my kids see my wife and I in our workout room every day. We're in there every day. She's in there every day. I'm in my cold plunge every day. So,
Yeah.
But I think it was just that's how I did it. And then afterwards, what do I get? I get the gift of 4 knee replacements.
Right? That's how you get repaid?
Winning. But that was what happened. I lost all the weight. Then I lost all the cartilage in my knees. I was bone on bone, and both of them had to be replaced.
Did it?
They were both replaced. They became loose. They have 3rd and 4th replacements.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's a bitch. But you know what? Still got a smile on my face. I still get to hear the birds chirp. When you see, and this has been on Instagram a lot, I've seen a lot of it, but when you go through end-of-life experiences, I don't know if you have, when you see people take their last breath and they're people that you've loved your whole life, there is a massive amount of emotion that flows through your body in that moment. And I know at some point in my life that's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
But I also know I can control, for the most part, when that happens to me. And I just kind of have this mentality that I'm not going to put anything in my body that can take me out.
Okay.
So my dad got diabetes. I stay away from sweets. I don't eat any chocolate anymore, and I freaking love chocolates. I love gummy bear, all that stuff. I don't eat it because the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
No, you're right.
So that's my mentality now. And I take that into my keynotes. I take that into my workshops. I'm very vulnerable and transparent. And I think that's the realist way to become a great leader.
Yeah.
But back to it, greatness in a person is just in the pursuit. It's not acting great. It's not having ego. It's just trying to pursue better.
Yeah. Well, I think no, I love it. And I find, I just find I think we talked about this on our first call about resilience. And I find your resilience very inspirational, your entire journey and putting it out there for people. It's definitely helping more than
that means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had my son plays baseball, and his whole team is JV team. They all wanted a copy of my book. So I love it. And I wrote personal notes because I'd seen them all play.
Yeah.
I wrote personal notes in every single one of their books. And they went to school 2 weeks later, and the teacher in one of their classes was like, "Why is my students reading a book that's not on my list?" It was my book that they were reading.
How did that happen? Who does that? How old are they? How old are your sons?
They're 16 and 14.
Okay.
One's going to be a junior in high school. The other one's going into high school.
Wow. Mine are 13 and 14. I have my 14-year-old's going into high school this year too. So
see, we're living it. I mean, if they can read this book now and start getting that EQ going, how much better off they're going to be in life, especially with AI coming and chirping in and knocking on your door.
I know.
People, respecting people, being relatable, no resting dick face, being curious, showing compassion, building some consistency. All of that goes into the
Sorry, my dog decided.
The factor.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's not even my dog. That's yours.
That's my dog.
I love your dog. Hopefully you can keep that in this podcast, your dog barking. I think your dog's agreeing with me.
He comes. Well, sometimes if I take too long on a podcast, he will come get me. But that's enough.
I told you this one will go longer than an hour.
Well, I think we made great time. I think we talked about a lot.
We did a lot. Within what we started. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did.
I really did. I got a lot out of it myself. This is why I like having the casual conversations, because you kind of get lost in it. And I just used my curiosity, as, like you're saying, works, and I got a ton out of it. So I am so glad we did this. And
I want to stay in touch with you too. I want to know, and maybe we can do this after on another call, but I want to know what your C.A.R.E equation is. I want to know what your attribute is. I want to see
I
your
don't know what I did with my card.
to become a
Oh, here it
success.
is.
I want to be able to do anything I can to help you
I
become successful.
appreciate that. I really
Because that's
appreciate
life.
that.
That is life, to give back. It's not to get back, it's to give back.
Yeah. Well, I do think that your initial assessment of me is accurate, but just knowing that it's me that like, and I think it's true now, but I put a lot of work into it to get there, you know?
Well, I think you're an awesome person that is very authentic.
Oh, I appreciate that. You as well.
You're going to be, this is going to be a success for you. I know.
Thank you.
I know in my heart.
Let's manifest the shit out of this right now.
Done. That's going to be my affirmation. It's going to be you today.
Yes, I love it. Thank you.
Very good.
Well, Jonathan, also one of my favorite names, my oldest son is Jonathan. I didn't tell you that.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You have 2 L's, right? I have 2 J's. I have Jonathan and Julian, right? Oh, no, Tristan.
Logan and Tristan.
Tristan. I don't know where I got the L from. Logan and
Both
Tristan.
of them could be females or female names.
Okay.
Excuse me. But yeah, we came Tristan from a Brad Pitt movie that he was in long ago, and then Logan, something my wife came up with. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, the book, Struggle to
There it
Strength.
is.
Here it is. Grab it. Bestseller for good reason.
Yes.
And learn all about the C.A.R.E framework. And Jonathan, it's been such a pleasure continuing to get to know you. Thank you for your assessment of me. I'll continue to work on that. Now I feel like you're gonna hold me accountable. I probably have to go to the gym tomorrow now.
And buy a cold plunge.
And buy a cold plunge. Well, we're not there yet. I don't know about buying one.
Easy there, bud. But
yes, get back to the gym first.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
I'll hold you. I'll text you tomorrow and ask you if you want.
I feel it. I feel it coming.
But that's what people should be doing in life, man. Let's just help people.
Help each other.
Yeah,
I agree.
This has been terrific. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You can get that on Amazon.
Yes. Tell us where to find you and your book.
It's on YouTube. My channel is Soul Focused Mindset. My Instagram is Soul Focused Mindset. And obviously LinkedIn is my name. So there you go. There's the ways that you can reach me.
Great. We'll link as much as we can.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till we go live and more people get to experience.
I'm excited for the live version. I can't wait to see how goofy I look.
Oh, no. Yeah. Not goofy at all.
I got a new tattoo yesterday to add to my
gosh.
Yes,
I know. Is it
camera? It's now it's got never give up and now never forget.
Oh.
With the sun. The 4 mountain peaks are the 4 knee replacements I had to have.
Oh my God.
And the never forget is for my family members that I've lost. So there you go. There it is.
Wow. What a great close. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks, Jonathan. We'll talk to you soon. It's been great.
Take care.